Hi, my name is Romy. Welcome back to Star Pages. Today I'm going to be reviewing Shielded by KayLynn Flanders. Shielded by KayLynn Flanders. Shielded is a young adult fantasy about a princess, Janissaria, whose kingdom is currently fighting a losing war at its borders. Janissaria's father, the king, promises her hand in marriage to the prince of the neighboring kingdom in exchange for resources. While Janissaria feels that she will be more used fighting alongside her brother on the battlefield, as second-born heir to the throne, her father realizes this is the best way she can help her kingdom, so she follows her duty and heads out to go marry the prince of the other kingdom. On the way to the kingdom, Janissaria and her entire party is attacked, and she is the only remaining survivor. So the story follows Janissaria as she tries to save her kingdom, find out who ordered the attack on her party while hiding and learning magic that she, as a second-born heir, is not supposed to have. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was a really good book, but I'm also not sure if I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because it was that great of a book or because it was the first book I read after months of not reading because of freaking CSEC exams. So keep that in mind. The way KayLynn Flanders wrote the story, like her writing style, it was really immersive and it really enhanced the story and my reading experience. One thing I noticed was there was always some sort of sensory description going on, and it was written in a way that it didn't feel like the story, like the action that was taking place at the moment, was paused for me to know what Janissaria is smelling or what she's seeing. It was blended seamlessly into the actions of what was going on in the story. The pacing was also done well. The shift from action-packed scene to the day-to-day type scenes was also done really seamlessly. The shift was done really seamlessly. You know, it didn't feel awkward or, weird. The actual events of the story, I actually really enjoyed them. And sometimes you read a story where there are some parts that some of the calmer parts in the book between action, like if you read an action-packed fantasy, sometimes there are parts between fight scenes or high adrenaline type scenes. So like, there's somebody, they're hiding from somebody or something like that. Sometimes between those scenes it can feel boring or out of place, or it was just extra needed, really needed. I didn't feel like there were any of those scenes in this book, so that was also a really great part because I don't want to feel like, oh, this didn't have to be there. I don't want to be reading a scene and thinking this didn't have to be there. So thankfully there were none of those scenes in this book. Everything felt so obviously well thought out, well planned, and connected to the overall plot of the story. So like I would be reading something and then I could know that, yo, this is impacting something else, or this is connected to something else, and then I'll get to the part and say, you see, this part is why this can happen. So there was nothing that just felt like, oh, it was written there just for action's sake. No, everything was connected to the major plot or to the end goal, and I really enjoyed that. Janissaria as a main character, I love her. I just love her. She was like, she had her motivations, and then if she felt like she's not at a point where she could achieve what she needs to achieve, she works for it. You can see her working for it. You can see her thinking about what she needs to do, what she needs to do, what needs to change around her, like how is she going to get there? You can see her mind working and putting all the pieces together. And she's also really smart, and she's kind to the other characters, and she is strong physically and emotionally. She's a strong female character all around. She's amazing. Top of the line. Other characters, I love every single one of the characters in the protagonist side of the story. I love them, and that doesn't happen often because sometimes I'll read a story and like the characters on the good side. Can you see me? Yeah. The characters on the good side, I don't like sometimes they're just so annoying and I don't like them. Or like, even if they're like I know you're supposed to have unlikable characters, but like some of the unlikable characters, it's more than just not liking them. It's I cannot stand to read about them. Even if it's not their point of view, I just can't. Every time they come on the page, I'm like, oh my god, please leave. So there's somebody like that in Shielded. So this is a fantasy, and Janissaria is the second-born heir to the throne of her kingdom, Helendi, and only the firstborn is supposed to have magic. But Janissaria was born with magic, and she has to hide that because she's not supposed to have it. And if people find out, like if the people in the kingdom or like her father's what's the word? What's the word? Not assistants. Oh no, her fathers. The people at the father's table, the king's table. If they find out they would like assume that she is going to use her magic to try and overthrow her brother, and she's going to be killed or something. So she has to hide her magic. Yeah, so there was that magic. But the magic system, it was pretty simple, easy to understand, and the way how the explanation was done as to how the magic worked, we got it when characters were explaining how they realized they had magic or how the magic feels to them. And I like the way that was explained, because sometimes in fantasy where there's magic, the author will try to explain the magic system as like a whole, the general thing, and then there's still some parts of it that are either not explained properly or they're explained and then it contradicts what we actually see happening in the story. So sometimes I prefer when the magic system is either not explained at all and we just learn based on what the characters are doing, or it's explained like it was in Shielded, where we know how it works for each character. So yeah, that was really great. Yeah, that's all I have. I recommend this story, and I would say highly, but again, I'm not sure if it was because I hadn't read in a while or because it was actually as great as I think it was. But yeah, I recommend this story, and I'm really excited for the sequel. I'm pretty sure it's already, Untethered, I don't know if it's out already. I think it's out, but I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's called Untethered, and I really want to read it. So yeah, that's my review. That's it. Bye. Regarding liking, commenting, and subscribing, do what you want. Bye.